Hi everyone, I'm Mercy the Snack Attack Lady. Today we're going to make something a little bit different. We're going to make chicken Parmesan wraps. And what we're going to use for that is we've got a whole grain tortilla, we've got some chicken lunch meat, but you can also use like leftover chicken from dinner the night before or any other kind of cooked chicken that you have. We've got some tomatoes, some Parmesan cheese, a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, and a few different spices. The first thing we need to do is we need to get our wrap nice and warm so it's soft and easy to work with so it doesn't crack when we try to wrap it. And what we're going to do that is we're just going to dampen a couple of paper towels. Oops. And wrap that around our tortilla. There's one side. My tortillas are a little bit bigger than my paper towels, so I got to use two paper towels. Easy for you to say. And we're just going to warm this up for like 15 seconds. We don't want to do it any longer because we don't want to cook the tortilla. We just want to kind of steam it in those paper towels. There we go. 1-5 spells 15. And while that's heating up, we're going to go ahead and start cutting our tomatoes. Now again, we always use our Snack Attack knife. You can cut tomatoes with a butter knife. There's these little tines on it, and we're going to use that just like a saw and kind of cut through the skin and just slice the top of the tomato right off. Yeah, I know our tortilla's done, but we're just going to leave it there in the microwave for a few seconds while we slice our tomatoes. 2 ought to be plenty. Again, it's going to depend on what size tomatoes you have. You can use full-size tomatoes, or you can use grape tomatoes or cherry tomatoes. These are Campari tomatoes. And as you can see, they're nice and ripe and juicy. Makes them a little messy to cut, but it also makes them nice and tasty in the wrap. So we're just going to cut those into a few slices. Wow, these are really ripe. We don't always get the prettiest cuts with a butter knife, but we do get them cut. It does the job. But at least everyone knows that we're going to have the same number of fingers when they get home as we did when they left. All right. There we go. That should be plenty for one wrap. We're going to get our tortilla out of the microwave. And it should be nice and warm and supple. And we're going to take and just put a few pieces of our chicken lunch meat on there, on just kind of like 1/2 of it. And then we're going to put our tomatoes on it. One nice thing about the warm paper towels, it's nice for cleaning your fingers off between ingredients too. Now before we put the cheese on, because you know you got to have a lot of melty cheese on a chicken Parmesan, we're going to drizzle just a little bit of olive oil. Now the way I always say to do it is to cover most of the top of the olive oil bottle with your thumb, so that there's just a little space that you can drizzle out on it. If you haven't practiced, you can always practice a little bit over the sink, so you get a nice thin stream. But the olive oil is going to give us that nice, good, healthy fat that's going to help us feel full and give us a little bit of flavor too. We're going to just sprinkle a little bit of salt. Somebody's knocking on the neighbor's door. A little bit of pepper. And I've got just a little bit of dried basil here. You can certainly use fresh basil if you happen to have it available. A little bit of oregano, as I'm being told it's properly pronounced by the chefs. And just a little bit of garlic powder. Now you use whatever seasonings, whatever spices you like. Kind of want to go for an Italian feel. If you want to just use plain old Italian seasonings, you can. That certainly makes it easy. But now that we've got our seasonings on there, we're going to go ahead and put some nice shredded mozzarella provolone mix here that I have. And then just wrap it up. It is a wrap after all. Now I've tried to fold the ends in like a burrito on this before, but there's just so much ooey gooey goodness once you get it cooked that it just, the ends don't hold. So I've given in and just gone with a straight kind of open burrito wrap. We're gonna stick that in the microwave, and we're gonna microwave it for about 1 minute. And actually, I almost forgot. We do want to cover it with another one of those wet paper towels that we used earlier just to keep that tortilla from drying out. And while that's cooking, we're going to go ahead and clean up a little bit. That way we've got a nice clean space for everyone to come home to. And plus that way when it's time to eat, we've got a nice clean space to eat at too. All right. Put my little ends away. Got just a few more seconds on the microwave. Oops. Now this is a nice snack in and of itself, but it can also be like a sandwich for like to go with like a bigger meal. Like you can add it with some of our other snack attack snacks that we've made. I'm going to be making a pasta to go with it. I'm going to be making a crudité with some dips to go with it. So stay tuned. We're going to be making a lot of great things, and you'll be able to put them all together to make a meal at the end of it. All right. So we want to make sure the cheese is melty, and it is. Yummy, yummy. Ooh. It smells really good. Someday I'm going to invent smell-o-vision so you guys can smell this. And we're just going to cut right in. And you can see it's all running together. I'm going to take a bite of this. Whoops, I lost a tomato. Check it out. Chicken Parmesan wrap.